Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tobe. So I started to do this thing where I've compiled questions that I've gotten over time from random people via social media. Questions around things that I typically talk about, stuff around my faith, stuff around personal money and money management, stuff around career transition and just making the most of your career really, and yeah, immigrant stuff. And of course, life, love, relationships, stuff that I typically tweet about. You should absolutely follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, by the way, at I am Tobe Neji. That's how you find me. The last time that I did this, it was the one on careers. Interesting tips were shared and the feedback has been really nice. So thank you for giving me that feedback. You can chit chat with me anytime on Twitter. Use the hashtag #the5things and I will find you, or you can just send a message to me directly. I'm open to respond to anyone. My DMs are completely open. Anyway, so I have put together these 5 questions that have to do with life. Going through them, I kind of realized that 3 of them are specific to love relationships, and then not love relationships, romantic relationships. And one of them is specific to family-ish, and the other one is specific to, well, platonic relationships or romantic relationships, whatever. But they're all stuff about life, and so I'm going to give you my thoughts on these 5 random questions. I think I'm going to call them the how soon questions, yeah? Let's call them the how soon questions on the 5 things. Question 1. How soon is too soon to get into another relationship after a breakup? For context, relationship here refers to a serious relationship, one in which a clear intention was stated. So in this case, I think that it depends on whether or not you are the person who initiated the breakup or if you're the person who was broken up with. Typically, a person who initiated the breakup has already spend time getting over the relationship while in the relationship because they have been thinking and contemplating about breaking up for a bit. And so for them, I think that they typically move on immediately. They already knew they were going to leave, and so they might have a backup plan, or they might have just completely dissociated themselves from the relationship, and so they can move on quite quickly. For the person who was broken up with, though, that is a completely different ballgame. First of all, the fact that you were broken up with means that you also have some ego bruising to deal with. I haven't met a person who enjoys being left, so that typically hurts your pride, and you would have to heal from that. There is also the personality thing. Some people just take longer to heal than others. And it really does depend on how much you loved and how hard you loved, I would say. A friend of mine says that it takes at least the amount of time the relationship lasted to get over the relationship, especially when it's a short-lived relationship. A short-lived relationship is anything that was 6 months or less. So if you dated for 4 months, it would probably take you 4 months to get over the relationship. If you dated for 2, it would take you 2 months. I don't know if that is, scientifically true or not, but I have found that it is a bit accurate, really. So yeah, but I do think that 3 months, though, is a healthy amount of time to get over someone that you absolutely loved. The first month, you would probably spend it in denial and trying to fix the relationship if you can. The second month, you probably spend it accepting and crying, and then you'll start to take stock. And doing all that is going to get you to that point where you sort of realize the gaps. You see the things that you need to do better, you need to improve on, the ways that this person just really wasn't in it with you. You might even be able to identify the point at which the person left the relationship and you were the only one dating in that relationship. So I think that 3 months is a healthy amount of time to spend mourning an old relationship. But then again, it completely depends on you and how you heal. I should tell you, though, that in my heydays, not like my heydays have gone. Anyway, but I should tell you that as a younger adult, I completely believed that new love could heal the wound of old love. I don't subscribe to that anymore, but if that is where you're at, absolutely, go right ahead. Leave someone and move on right to the next one. Question 2. How soon is too soon to move out of your parents' house? I don't think that you should move out of your parents' house before you have a stable source of income. I think that, as a matter of fact, you should maybe stay there until you've received your first 2 to 3, maybe even 4 paychecks, and then start planning to move. Also, I think that if you come from a family or you've got that sort of family support system where you can actually stay there and work for a bit, I think that you should, because staying with your family, with your parents, allows you to save up some money after you start to earn, right? And that way, when you move, you're moving with a good enough financial cushion to help you out. I know that it's complex for some people, but if it is something that you can do, then absolutely do it. But if you have not started to earn your own stable income, I don't think you should move out of your parents' house, especially if you're living in the same city, because of course, there are situations where you're moving to a different city, you can't help it, things are going on, maybe school, I don't know, whatever is going on with you, that's different. But when you're in the same city and you want to move out and somehow you expect your parents to support you with moving out and paying rent, I think that it's a bit unfair. You know, your parents are paying their own rent, their mortgage, or whatever situation they have going on, and then they need to think about funding you. I don't know. Stay home till you can afford it. Question 3. How soon is too soon to move in with a partner? Any time before getting married is too soon to move in with your significant other. Of course, there are dire situations in which you really can't help it. For instance, if you moved to a new city and your significant other lived in this city, it makes sense to move in with your significant other for a bit, right? In that situation, it wouldn't be a question of how soon. It would just be a situation, and so you're gonna run with it. If all things are equal, I think that moving in before getting married is too soon. Question 4. How soon is too soon to say, I love you? I think that any time before the relationship is officially well defined is too soon. Also, I think that any time before you actually make that decision to love this person in the entirety of who they are. I think that you make that decision after you sort of validated and confirmed that you and this person are on the same wavelength. You know, this is a person that you can actually build something with. You guys are not unequally yoked with one another, and you know, you're not trying to kill them, they're not trying to kill you, you guys are good. And then you make a commitment and a decision to love them, so that as you get to know them, even when you find out things about them that you don't particularly like, you're going to address those things from a place of love. This does not in any way mean that when you've committed to loving a person and you see things about them that you don't like, you should stay there because you've committed. No. It just means that even when the things that are hurtful come up and the things that are flaws come up, you're going to handle them from a place of love. And even if you're going to leave the relationship, you're going to do so from a place of love. So anytime before the relationship is officially well defined, and anytime before you have made that clear decision to love this person in the entirety of who they are, is too soon to say I love you. Question 5. How soon is too soon to start video calling? You know, for this one, I really don't know. I think that it really depends. It could be the first conversation, or it could be the 10th conversation, or it could be after 4 months. I don't know how long it takes. I think it just depends on how you two are vibing with one another. But I do think that there is a request and a consent that goes into video calling. So if you want a video call for the first time, ask. Wait for a consent before you video call. Maybe even schedule a particular time or whatever to do the video call, but there definitely has to be a request and a consent. I do think that video calls are pretty vulnerable, no? Yeah? Well, I would love to hear what you think about it and about everything else that I've said, because I am done with the 5 random questions. We call them the how soon questions. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and do not forget, you can chit chat with me anytime at all on social media if you use the hashtag the5things. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and yeah, don't forget to follow me on social media at I am Tobe Neji. I cannot wait to see you next time on the YouTube channel. Until then, be good, be blessed.